What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Eric from the Beemer Fam. Make sure you smash the subscribe button and drop a like on this video because me and my family are posting a lot of content lately, so make sure you stay up to date with your Beemer Fam content. Today's video, we're talking about why exactly you should buy a BMW E39 M5 in 2018. I own a 2002 BMW M5. I've owned this car since August of 2016. I got this car when I was 19 years old. It's one of my dream cars. It's one of those bucket list cars, something that's been on my list since day one, really since I've seen the car come out back in the year 2000. So I was roughly around 5 years old when I first saw this car. The first time I saw it, it had the black and blue interior with the dark blue paint, and it made me fall in love with the car and say to myself that I need to own this car one day. Around 15 years later, I got the car in my ownership. I just want to share with you guys some of the things that I found here and there that make this car one of the best cars on the market today. I'm talking about, you hear that bird? That bird bugging. That bird's tweaking. But yeah, I just want to share with you guys some of the things that I found to be true about the E39 M5, especially after a year and a half of ownership, and just pretty much why I believe this is one of the best cars on the market in terms of sports cars, sports sedans, sport SUVs, anything. Pretty much any performance car, this is up there with one of the greats. I'm going to dive in and tell you exactly why that is. Now, the number one reason, the lighting may be a little poor in here, but the number one reason I think you should get this car in 2018 is the drivability and the price. So I've driven this car every single day since August 2016 when I got the car. You guys can watch the reliability updates and the things I have had to do to this car since I've gotten it. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, the list is very small. So, you know, this car is crazy when it comes to reliability and drivability. I've driven all year round. I live in Michigan, so I've had to deal with all the seasons, and it's performed admirably. And in terms of price, it gets even better because I picked this one up. Come outside for you guys real quick. I picked this M5 up, 150,000 miles for 15 grand. But I mean, the condition this thing has been in, the mechanical condition, interior, the leather, the paint, and everything has been absolutely phenomenal. And you don't see these cars in this condition, you know, with these miles on it at all. I was in the market for this car for over a year, searching on all the listings, and this was the only one that I saw in this kind of condition for the miles and for the price. So I jumped on it. And you know, 15 grand for a car like this, the package you're getting is something crucial. That sleek design coming from the top and how it slopes down into the hood, you know, it's got some nice aerodynamics. But really, I mean, I'm really loving the blue water metallic color on this right now. It's kind of shifting colors. I don't know if you guys can tell. But yeah, it's just a very sleek and timeless design. This design has not gotten old. If anything, it's gotten better with age compared to the newer cars now. I mean, to me, it almost looks like the perfect sedan. There's not really a bad angle on the car. You know, it's very beautiful. And that design translates into the interior as well. This is what we're looking at. We have the brushed aluminum trim on the car, the ostrich leather right here. This is the gray stuff. And we also have it on the seats as well. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm gonna zoom in on the ostrich leather. The ostrich leather is tougher than regular leather. So what this is great for longevity. You know, they claim that it doesn't wear like regular leather. It's gonna add a whole bunch of years extra on its life just because it's more tough. Those of you guys who have felt this leather know what I'm talking about. But those of you guys who haven't, you're gonna have to take my word for it, man. It doesn't really wear. I mean, you can see these seats. It's over 160, well over 160,000 miles, and you see the seats in this car. You see them in the back as well. You know, they still look pretty new. And you know, they're gonna continue to look new as long as you're, you know, treating them right. But man, these seats are just, you know, they're very comfortable as well. And I mean, you look at the control center and everything. It's a very timeless look. I'm actually gonna jump in the back. This car has a very timeless look. There's not anything out there like this anymore that quite looks like this. You know, the newer ones still look nice. But again, this has that classic, sleek, timeless feel to it. You know, it still translates into the inside of the car. So the next thing is definitely the performance about this car. In the year 2000, it came stock with 400 horsepower, and back then that was a shit ton of horsepower. To today's standard, it's still a real good amount of horsepower. You know, around 400 horsepower, around 370 foot-pounds of torque. And what I love about the torque is it's at the lower end and it's very manageable. So, you know, those of you guys who like doing donuts, maybe a few drifts here and there, burnouts, that kind of stuff, it comes with ease. It also makes this car harder to stall. So for those of you guys who don't know how to drive a manual and do want to drive a manual, like how I was before I bought this car, this is a great car to learn on because, you know, it's more difficult to stall than other cars out there. You know, I really noticed the performance on this car when I drove the M4. The M4 on paper is very fast. It's got those turbos, but it doesn't really make you feel like you're going terribly fast. You kind of just look up at the speedo and you're doing, you know, crazy illegal numbers. But in this car, it feels 3 times faster than that car, even though it's a second slower 0 to 60 stop. So I'm pretty much saying, when I'm talking about performance when it comes to this car, you're not buying it for the numbers it has. You're buying it for the dramatic feel this thing gives you, the emotion that's pouring out of it, if you will. You know, like I said, it feels so much more faster than the newer generation. It feels so much more raw and more pure. Even though those newer cars have much more horsepower, this one feels much faster. And you're getting more of an experience out of your drive. The newer ones, you kind of just, I don't know, it's very hard to explain. I touched on it in my previous videos, but those of you guys who've driven both the older and the newer M generations, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So for those of you guys who haven't, you know, maybe go for a test drive one of these compared to one of the newer ones. You're going to definitely see what I'm talking about. This is a much more raw and dramatic experience than anything newer on the market, anything released from any other manufacturers. This is one of the best sedans ever built, period. It almost seems like in 2018 all these big manufacturers are going for the heavy hitting horsepower, and the horsepower that's going to knock your socks off when you see the number. This is something different. In terms of buying this car in 2018, this is something that needs to be on your list, because I mean, you guys can read all the articles in the forums about this car. It's just so fantastic. It's such a great experience to drive. You really want to get out there and try and drive one of these cars. But if you're looking into a sedan in 2018, don't listen to the horsepower thing. These are very tunable. You can easily get 500 horsepower plus out of these cars without even starting to add, you know, force induction, that kind of thing. So, you know, this car, the sound of it and everything is just raw. Speaking of sound, the sound that comes from the rear end of this thing is just stupid. I'm gonna play a few clips for you guys, but guys, you gotta understand, this is a 2002. This is what's so special about this car, is the engine inside of it. The S62 motor, 4.9 liter V8. So it's damn near the size of a 5 liter, you know, Mustang sized engine in a BMW. And man, it just sounds so good. Beautiful beast. You know, as we can see right now, this engine is just absolutely beautiful. It still has carbon fiber implemented into this thing. It's got that fat M badge right there, but we can really see the girth and the size of this engine. So you know, the sound that it produces is absolutely phenomenal. I've seen a lot of guys, you know, slap a supercharger, put it right there, maybe a few turbos in here. So you can do a lot with this engine. For those of you guys who like the crazy end side of performance, really maxing cars out, there are a lot of sensors and stuff involved. It's an older BMW, but man, you know, the potential on this car is absolutely insane. So yeah, the BMW M5 I think is here to stay in the car community. It's not one of those cars that 5-10 years pass, you see it's unreliable. It's not as much of a sought after car. Maybe it's ugly. People realize that doesn't have the best looks anymore. This is not one of those cars. This is one of those cars that has a cult following. People who are willing to die for a chassis number. There's not too many cars out there. When you say E39, you get a few people in the back, looking like that. These cars are really truly special and deserve extra, care and attention for them. And the people who do pick these cars up, they're the ones who are really going to realize how special this car is. Now, I highly recommend putting this car on your list. They're very rare. They're starting to get more and more rare. I believe they're starting to appreciate as well. So that, slowly but surely becoming a classic car. So I highly recommend keeping an eye out on this car for 2018 for those of you guys in the market for a sports/super car. I would probably categorize this car as a super sedan. So if you guys are in the market for any kind of sports car, anything like that, the E39 M5 is one of the purest cars on the market. So keep that in mind, guys. I can't stress it enough. Keep this car in mind. Go test drive one, maybe with some modifications if you can. Put yourself around this car, and you'll really start to feel the vibes of it because, like I said, this thing is something really special. So thank you guys for watching the video. This is why I believe you should buy a BMW E39 M5 in 2018. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like on this video so you can get this video to 100 likes. That'd be awesome. And by subscribing and following us on Instagram, you're entered for an ongoing giveaway, 5K on YouTube, 10K on Instagram. So, follow up, subscribe up, grab your Beemer Fam merch at shopbeamerfam.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.